Hello to everybody in the room. I just wanted to do this real quick. Black Lives Matter. A lot of conversation, a lot of things going on as usual. However, I wanted to put a deeper spin on this and kind of do a deep dive into this or whatever. And of course, you know, try to give a fair and impartial overview of it. Has Black Lives Matter failed the Black community? Simple question. Simple question. Has Black Lives Matter failed the Black community? Some people that are very proactive say, no. They've been very responsive. They've been doing everything that they can do. You know, the problem is just out of control. Where do we start? And then some people say, no. I don't think they've been doing everything. I think they've been, you know, mishandling funds. I think they've been, you know, kind of living it up, you know, personally. It hasn't been about a public, you know, recourse in regards to saying, hey, what can we do more of? So we're going to do a deep dive into this and get started with this real quick. Fair use. I'm going to be playing a lot of clips. Shank Rock, what's going on, brother? I know that you have an interview later. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys don't know, Shank Rock will be interviewing Rainy. Let's Talk with Rainy. So you guys check that out. I'm going to be dropping a link here pretty shortly. I would love to hear from you guys. I realize that, you know, this is kind of a midday show or whatever, but I really feel like this is important because in order for Black lives to matter, it has to matter to Black people. But for some reason, and again, you know, content creators are going to talk about what they talk about, but I don't see a lot of talk about this. So I wanted to do this real quick. So let's get this thing started.
I'm a young Black man doing all that I can to stand. Oh, but when I look around and I see what's being done to my kind, every day I'm being hunted as prey. My people don't want no trouble. We've had enough struggle. I just wanna live. God protect me. I just wanna live. I just wanna live.
Okay, so this is insane. In real time right now, I am watching Patrisse Cullors do a live claiming that I went to her property and demanded to speak to her. And she's, I only way I can describe it, she sounds like she's really scared. We're working on a documentary talking about all of the funding pertaining to Black Lives Matter. Obviously, we know that Patrisse and a lot of the founders purchased $1 million homes in white neighborhoods. They also purchased a Black Lives Matter property. So we went to the property and asked if there was anyone that we could speak to, very politely, by the way. We've got cameras in tow, so there's no way she can, it's all on camera. And we just said, is there anyone we can speak to? Nobody asked us to leave. The person went inside. It was just a white man that we saw outside that was providing security, which is super interesting because obviously Patrisse here is anti-police, and so she's, oh my god, I think she's crying on this live, pretending that she was harassed. We, like I said very politely to the guy, is there anyone we can speak to? My name's Candace Owens. We never went over the gate. It was just me ringing the doorbell, trying to speak to someone. He said absolutely nothing. He started just recording us, and we said, okay, if there's no one we can speak to, we're gonna leave. Patrisse is pretending to be scared because she knows that this Black Lives Matter lie is falling apart, and she doesn't know what to do. I mean, people are aware of the scam that is Black Lives Matter. She's intentionally limited the comments, so you can't even comment on this post, because I was going to comment and be like, this is a complete lie, and we have it all on camera in terms of what happened. So what you are seeing right now is the face of a woman who is pretending she's afraid of right-wing pundits, when in reality she's being exposed as a fraud who took millions, used the faces of Black people, took millions of dollars to fund herself, to fund her lifestyle, to fund her girlfriend, and to buy $1 million mansions in neighborhoods where no Black people live. So Patrisse, this footage that this story that we're covering is a significant one. I have always been interested in the fraud that is Black Lives Matter, your fake tears, your crocodile tears about someone politely ringing your gate and speaking to your white security guard and asking if there was anyone that I could talk to because I was covering the story. Not really going to cut it, Patrisse. This is only going to commit me further to discovering the truth about what you have done with this funding. Black people died. You used their faces to raise money. You demanded that the policing be stopped. You demanded that police officers be defunded, but you've got a private security detail outside of $1 million homes. It just doesn't work this way, sweetheart. So the truth shall set you free, or Candace Owens shall set you free, girl, because I'm about to tell the truth.
So here's the problem that I have, you guys. The problem that I have with this situation is that we have people that have somewhat formed or have formed organization to help Black people. And when I say help Black people, I mean, you know, with lawyers, when something happens, funeral cost, you know, just proper defense, help out in reference to fundraisers in the communities, probably put money into the school system, you know, to really help out Black communities, to clean up the street, make sure street lights are on, make sure that we get better stores in the community, just better resources, better network ability. And we have people buying $1 million homes off of donations to Black Lives Matter. Where is the outrage? Forget selective outrage. Forget selective accountability. The conversation. Everybody says, I hate Candace Owens. I hate Candace. Why is a person that is not even married to a Black man worried about Black Lives Matter? The video that I just showed you guys, and I'm going to play it again because I think it's that important. This video is less than a week old. This video is less than a week old. I'm going to play this again because I think it's that important. Here we go.
Right now, I am watching Patrisse Cullors do a live claiming that I went to her property and demanded to speak to her. And she's, I only way I can describe it is she sounds like she's really scared. We're working on a documentary talking about all of the funding pertaining to Black Lives Matter. Obviously, we know that Patrisse and a lot of the founders purchased $1 million homes in white neighborhoods. They also purchased a Black Lives Matter property. So we went to the property and asked if there was anyone that we could speak to, very politely, by the way. We've got cameras in tow, so there's no way she can, it's all on camera. And we just said, is there anyone we can speak to? Nobody asked us to leave. The person went inside. It was just a white man that we saw outside that was providing security, which is super interesting because obviously Patrisse here is anti-police, and so she's, oh my God, I think she's crying on this live, pretending that she was harassed.
And this is another thing. I noticed that a lot of these organizations, you know, and I understand that, you know, a lot of people have issues with policemen, you know, especially living in certain cities. But this is what's crazy. So here's the thing. You tell Black people that we should defund the police, right? But then move somewhere where you have a security guard that is white. My biggest concern is that we have people in position, and when those people are in position, they fail. I'm just gonna be real. I'm just gonna be real. When they are in position, no matter how they got into the position, no matter how they got their voice out there, no matter what organization they form, they always lead people astray. And that's the thing that kind of, like what they say, grind my gears, that pisses me off, because it's like, damn, what's all the failure about? Millions of dollars that could have went. How many people you think, since, let's just start with George Floyd. I mean, I could roll it back to Sandra Bland. I mean, there's so many people, but let's start with George Floyd. How many people you think needed lawyers that couldn't afford lawyers, that had to get public defenders from George Floyd's death until now? Here it is. You have one of the founders of Black Lives Matter buying $1 million home, living it up, living La Vida Loca. And then you have people who are first offenders that probably should have got a smack on the wrist and said, hey, don't do that again. Go do some community service, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But now doing jail time because they couldn't afford a lawyer. How many schools you think needed more teachers? How many community centers needed more computers? How many streets needed more, not only street signs and street lights, but more lights, period, because it's dark as hell in their neighborhood? Come on, y'all. Am I talking to some grown people? I'm going to show you some news clippings. Again, fair use. You know, I'm going to show you some news clippings surrounding this whole Black Lives Matter leadership and what was done with the funds. And it's so crazy that I don't see a lot of people talking about this. There's no outrage. Like, the reason why Black people in the Black community is so up is because we don't care our goddamn self. We care more about rappers and what rappers got going on and why rappers are getting arrested. F the rappers. Don't nobody give a damn about these rappers because they don't give a damn. Let's stop calling shit entertainment. This shit is not funny. It's not cool. It's not cute. Half of these rap songs are about real life shit. How many people you done killed? How many people done got R word and M word and all this other shit? And we praise this and call this entertainment. These men and women are being paid to promote sexualization, abuse, gang violence, all types of shit, and we applaud it. We allow our children to go to the concerts. We allow our children to buy the sneakers. We allow all of these things in our community, and then the first thing we do is say it's the white man's fault. It's the media's fault. And then you have people who don't even live in it. Candace only live in these projects. Why does she care about Black Lives Matter? Let's just be real. Why is she doing a documentary? Come on now, we got all of these people. We got the Dr. Umar Johnson, Boyce Watkins, Hassan Campbell, Charleston White. We got all of these people, shock jocks, all these celebrities. How come we're not talking about Black Lives Matter in a better way to say, let's really hit the like button. You hit the like button for everything else, goddammit. We can't find the time to talk about shit that matters, but always going at each other's throat over bullshit. Over bullshit. Salute, Night Stalker. I see you. Lovely, I see you. Raspberry, I see going on. I see you guys. Miss Curlin, I see you. It's all hot air. It's always a pleasure. Shank Rock, I see you guys. I'm just saying, it's just like I constantly see and people sending me links. Oh, check this out. I don't want to check out that bullshit. A bunch of nothing doing nothing. It's sickening. And then you have these organizations with satellite units in everybody's city. We got a Black Lives Matter here. Here in Texas, in Houston, we have a Black Lives Matter in DC. I mean, it's satellite units, so whatever case be. And my thing about, I'm actually going to go up there. I'm actually going to go up there, whatever case be, because I was tailoring if I really wanted it. But after seeing this, man, I just want to go talk to a few people and just see what I could do to help. Hey, maybe even get into a position where I really can really help some things. Because here's what's crazy to me. What's crazy to me is, why are we so reactive and not proactive? Defund the police, but you don't want to defund the drug dealers? Did I hurt somebody's feelings with that one? Defund the police, but we don't want to defund the drug dealers. Keylani Management, what's going on? It's amazing to me. It's just like anything that will help. See, let me just be real with you. Even though, hey, we all got guns in Texas, let's not play them games. If you guys are beefing with people in Texas, I would advise you all to think twice. I'm just saying. And I ain't even from Texas, but I live here. It's an open carry. Everybody got guns. But can you imagine the people that say, you know what, I'm not gun friendly. I don't have guns in my home. Can you imagine when somebody breaks in your house, what'll happen? Can you imagine the type of weapons, whether they're automatic weapons, handguns, hell, it could be a bow and arrow. Can you imagine somebody breaking into your home and there's no police to call? Who are you going to call? Your cousin? that's probably going to be drunk in the morning, that's going to be drunk at 3 a.m. in the morning, your other cousin that's going to be at the strip club, your other cousin that got to work a double shift. If you don't have people dedicated to defend you, then I don't understand who you're going to call. It's always the people. Let me tell you guys. Let me you know what I'm saying? Let me tell you guys something. There's a fallacy when it comes to leadership. Ghostbusters. There's a fallacy when it comes to leadership. People that have never been leaders before giving out leadership advice. Let's defund the police. Are you serious? Are you freaking serious? You're absolutely terrified. You got people right now that have children that are afraid for their children to walk to the store. And we got police. Stay with me now. I'm going somewhere. We have police now, and they're afraid for their children to walk to the corner store. They're afraid for their children to go to school. They're afraid for their children to spend the night at somebody's house. Can you imagine defunding the police? All of that community activism, man, listen, some of that shit is out the window when it comes to safety of your household and your family members. Everybody don't have an arsenal out there like that. You might, depending on what home you're in, you might have a handgun. And some people don't even, first of all, you don't train on your weapon. You don't clean your weapon, and you don't know how to properly execute any type of defense for your home. Let's just be real now. Come on now. It's going to be more than just pointing and shooting, because here's the thing. What are you going to be telling your family to do? Do they have a room they're supposed to go in? Is there a secret knock? Hit the like button. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. Everybody acts like they are built for war and ain't never been in no goddamn war. You ain't never been nowhere. That shit you see on the movies. This is what kills me about people, right? What kills me is that we put ourselves in the worst conditions and we always yell that we're living our best life. How are you living your best life? There are people that are trained and certified. Do you understand? Certified and trained. Quarterly, monthly, annually. Everybody's not trained like that. So you're talking about let's get rid of the people that are trained to protect us. Now, I've had my fair share of police run-ins, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I know better than to scream out, let's defund the police. And can you imagine the people that want you to defund the police move into better neighborhoods, not like the neighborhoods you move into more expensive homes, and guess what's there? Police protection. Let me keep going. I'm gonna drop this link in a minute, but let me do my thing.
Like I said very politely to the guys, is there anyone we can speak to? My name's Candace Owens. We never went over the gate. It was just me ringing the doorbell, trying to speak to someone. He said absolutely nothing. He started just recording us. And we said, okay, if there's no one we can speak to, we're going to leave. Patrice is pretending to be scared because she knows that this Black Lives Matter lie is falling apart. And she doesn't know what to do. I mean, people are aware of the scam that is Black Lives Matter. She's intentionally limited the comments, so you can't even comment on this post, because I was going to comment and be like, this is a complete lie, and we have it all on camera in terms of what happened. So what you are seeing right now is the face of a woman who is pretending she's afraid of right-wing pundits, when in reality, she's being exposed as a fraud who took millions, used the faces of Black people, took millions of dollars to fund herself, to fund her lifestyle, to fund her girlfriend, and to buy $1 million mansions in neighborhoods where no Black people live. So Patrice, this footage this story that we're covering is a significant one. I have always been interested in the fraud that is Black Lives Matter, your fake tears, your crocodile tears about someone politely ringing your gate and speaking to your white security guard and asking if there was anyone that I could talk to because I was covering this story. Not really going to, Patrice. This is only going to commit me further to discovering the truth about what you have done with this funding. Black people died. You used their faces to raise money. You demanded that the policing be stopped. You demanded that police officers be defunded. You've got a private security detail outside of $1 million homes. It just doesn't work this way, sweetheart. So the truth shall set you free, or Candace Owens shall set you free, girl, because I'm about to tell the truth. All right, we're still filming.
But see, this is my issue. My issue is that we say that Candace Owens is the enemy. Candace Owens, how dare she speak on George Floyd? How dare she do this and how dare she do that? And I'm gonna be honest with you, I was a part of that outrage. I was like, oh, hell to the nizzle. Here's my thing. Why does Candace Owens care more than some of these content creators? Why does Candace Owens? Black lives don't matter. Come on, y'all. Come on. You can look on some of these pages. Black lives don't matter. They don't matter. That's why it's so easy to say, ha ha, look at what these black people, this organization did to these other black people. Defund the police. Matter of fact, we're going to use this money to buy us some fancy cars and we're going to go live in these mansions real quick. We ain't finished yet. Let's get to this next video. Fair use, fair use. Let's go.
Black Lives Matter under more scrutiny over how it's spending donor money. As a new report claims, Black Lives Matter leaders used $6 million in donations to buy a massive, beautiful California mansion. Fox News contributor and civil rights attorney Leo Terrell joins us right now from Los Angeles. Leo, good morning to you.
Good morning, Steve. How are you?
I'm doing okay, but I'm scratching my head. You know, after the summer of 2020, we'd heard that Black Lives Matter took in, I think, $90 million, and we wondered what they were going to spend the money on. Now we know they spent $6 million on a mansion for themselves.
Yes, Steve, living like the rich and famous. You know, Steve, I'll be very honest with you. $90 million. They basically use black Americans for profit. Steve, ever since the George Floyd death, Black Lives Matter has profited from the George Floyd death. What have they done for the black community? Where are the community centers? Where is the improvement in education? They use this money for personal gain, and you look at that house does not help black Americans. It is basically blood money, Steve, and it's sickening and it's embarrassing. Black people were exploited. Black Americans were exploited by Black Lives Matter for the personal gain of a few.
Well, take us back, Leo. How did they wind up getting these millions and millions of dollars? I know big corporations gave millions of dollars. Why?
Why? It is the classic shakedown. Steve, everyone remembers the George Floyd death, a horrific murder.
Yep.
Let's be very clear. Black Lives Matter exploited that. Black Lives Matter, the NBA, all these major corporations, they wanted to be on the so-called right side of justice. They were wrong side. Because what have Black Lives Matter, what have these social groups done other than exploit?
So here's my problem a little bit further, a little bit deeper, right? We as citizens, we as people, we give our donations, right, to an organization that we feel like is going to take our money and going to make sure that we are provided some type of covering, some type of shelter, some type of defense. And when you find out that you've taken the money to now support your lavish lifestyle, your luxury-filled lifestyle, I'm gonna be honest with you, as black women, I want you guys to look at this, because right now the heat is on a lot of the black women that are in charge of these organizations. So I would be honest with you right now, the Cynthia G's, the Tanya TKOs, the Angela Stantons, all of these women, I'm gonna be honest with you, I would be outraged right now. I would be pissed right now. But it's so much conversation about other things, which baffles me, because it's like, how is not helping us not the conversation? How is taking millions of dollars and putting it elsewhere into another community? That money didn't go into a black community. That money went into a whole different suburb where not many black people live. But it's little outrage. There's no memes, there are no videos, there are no contents, there's nobody calling them out, there's no hashtags, there's nothing. And it lets me know how little of conversation really goes on, especially in the black sector of YouTube. Because I would think you look at this right here, these guys, these gentlemen right now on the screen. Why is this conversation not happening in black YouTube? How many content creators did you see yesterday talking about this? How many content creators did you see today talking about this? In the last week, in the last 30 days, we are attacking each other on a daily basis. And we wonder why someone can be in charge of an organization and just squeak by, because they see it. They know we're not going to pay attention. They know we're not going to ask questions because we're too busy bickering. We're too busy fighting. We're doing more research on how to hinder one another than research on trying to help and support. Obviously, you can't tell me the money's not there now. Tell me the money's not there now. You cannot tell me the money's not there. $6 million on a California home. What the hell? I hear what you're saying, brother. I hear what you're saying. He says, I'm looking at two white guys. I hear what you're saying, but here's the thing. I want you to find the most hood, thuggish motherfucker that you can find online right now. What they talking about? I bet you it ain't talking about better in the community. I bet you it ain't talking about fathers being in the home. Better in credit. I bet you it ain't talking about that. So this is what we do as black people. What we do as black people is, if you don't have the narrative of a thug, if you don't have the narrative of slang, if you don't have the narrative of looking like a rapper, you can't speak about the betterment for black people. You can't be, you know what I'm saying? Chaotic Truth, what's going on, brother? You can't speak about the betterment of black people if you don't look like a thug, if you don't sound like, you know what I'm saying, you Tupac. You can't talk about the betterment. Candace Owens can't talk about the betterment. These two guys can't talk about the betterment. Can I be real? Can I be real? Because if you're waiting for your most popular YouTuber in the black community to say something, or in the black sector, you're going to be waiting for a long goddamn time. Let's just be real. We're more interested in beefing with one another than saying, where's the money at? Where's the money at? Salute, Big E. Let's get back into this. I'm going to be dropping this link here in a minute. Reacts, I hear you say it's Candace Owens. Here's the thing, right? I don't care who's talking about the issue, as long as we're talking about the issue. I don't care if you left ring, right ring. I don't care about none of that. Exactly. This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I'm talking about. When you right, you're right. It's not about who we like. It's about what's right and what's wrong. Why is Candace Owens, someone who don't live in an urban neighborhood, who's not married to another black person, why does she care more about it? Why is I didn't heard other documentaries coming out, and it ain't nothing to do with the betterment of black people. Uncle L, what's going on? Him versus Her Solutions, what's going on? This is what I'm talking about. A more serious conversation. I done heard people talking about, man, I ain't here for no positive. Man, okay, F the positive. Let's get to the conversation. F the positive. Let's get to the conversation, because what we talking about is irrelevant. I appreciate that, Shank Rock. But I'm gonna drop this link, and I want all these people that feel like, hey, Candace Owens, she shouldn't be talking about this, and this person shouldn't be. Okay, well, who should be talking about it? There's no outrage and there's no outpour of let's talk about this Black Lives Matter. How many people are going down to their local satellite unit that say, hey, listen, I'm here to volunteer. Hell, I'm here to motherfucking take charge of some shit. She bought a $6 million home and ain't nobody mad. We want to cancel. Look, they ready to cancel. Well, I guess you can't cancel them now. It was ready to cancel Kevin Samuels, but not cancel Cynthia G. But here's the thing, Cynthia G, I'm gonna tag you in this, because I really want to find out, why aren't there more people talking about betterment, especially when it comes to Black Lives Matter? That organization has exploited black people, has gotten money off of the deaths of black people and their names, Let's just be real. And now they're living large. And now it's somebody, and I'm about to piss somebody off. Let's be real. Y'all didn't give a shit. Y'all didn't do nothing. You know what did it? These white people on the screen. Since you said there's 2 white men on screen, that's what did it. Not your favorite YouTuber, not the one that you got beefing all the time. The people on the screen, the people that cared enough to look into it and to do research that ain't had nothing to do with beefing with one another. Who mad? Who mad? Come on now. Let's get back into it. I'm about to drop this link. Give it a minute.
Shook down corporations for personal gain, Steve. The black community has not benefited from the $90 million. There's a state investigation, Lives Matter in California. That beautiful home does not benefit black Americans. It doesn't benefit Americans at all.
Right. Well, I understand there's a federal investigation as well. I think I read this morning somewhere. So is there a possibility these 3 women right here who are toasting each other, I think they were all involved in this particular mansion. What sort of peril are they in? Because when you give money to a charity, it's not supposed.
Let me say something real quick. And I really appreciate you guys. You guys to do me a favor. Like we hit the like button for all types of frivolous things. I need you to hit the like button, not just because I'm asking you to, because you give a damn, because you care. Here's the situation. The situation is this. We have an issue that we can fix if we act like we want to fix it. Can you imagine what ripple will cause if it's about the media? Because we are a part of the media, whether you like it or not, as a content creator, as a public influencer, because that's what these platforms represent, some type of public influence. Can you imagine if everybody decided to do a video on Black Lives Matter and provide solutions, provide the conversations, and start tagging their local congressman or their mayor or governor? Can you imagine the type of ripple effect it will cause? Tagging TMZ, we tag DJ Vlad and academics, but look at what we tagged them for. Buddha, thank you very much for that donation. Look at what we tagged them for. This is the reason why I don't have time to beef. I don't have time to go back and forth. There are real conversations to be had. Millions of dollars, ladies and gentlemen. We always crying about we don't have the money to do this. We don't have the money to teach this. We don't have the money to go here. We don't have the money to support our families, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Come on now. How many mothers out there working more than 2 jobs to support their kids? We always crying about single parents, right? It's the woman's fault, right? Well, if you got millions of dollars to put on a goddamn house, can't you be putting some money and give it to some of these mothers who apply for some type of assistance? I'm just saying, everybody talking about the white man, but I'm just saying, it obviously this organization, this black organization, had the money to support some of these single parents. Am I missing something? Am I pissing somebody off yet? Somebody said, hey, it's not about the message, it's about the messenger. Well, hey, forget the messenger. Forget the messenger. Say, oh, I don't like his tie, I don't like his haircut, I don't like his skin. What's the message? It's the same thing I said about goddamn Kevin Samuels. What's the message? We're so busy trying to condemn the messenger, we don't process the message. And by the time we process it, it's too late. Our kids are now affected. Bro, let me tell you guys something, and I'm sure, I don't know if my sister's in the chat right now. Can you imagine laying in a home and you got bullets flying through your motherfucking window? You gotta literally, you can't even sleep on a bed that's high like to the windowsill. You gotta you gotta sleep on the mattress on the floor because there's shit coming through the windows, you don't want to get hit. Bro, I can tell y'all all types of goddamn stories. I can tell you all types of stories. And it's organizations like this that turn the back on the black community, and then we blame it on the white man when it was the black man that could have helped their fellow black man. I'm just being real, y'all. They could have helped. They had the money to help. $1 million home. Like, I'm not going to even knock y'all, right? I'm not going to even knock y'all. If the lady would have went out or these people would have went out and got goddamn $150,000 house, 250, 300,000, I probably wouldn't have been mad. But $1 million home, they're saying a $6 million home. Goddamn. But $1 million home, come on, y'all. You got people out here working job after job. Hell, you got men out here that were locked up or whatever case may be for whatever reasons. Didn't have enough money for a lawyer, wrong place, wrong time, whatever. And now they paid their debt to society. And when they get out, they have nothing. You mean to tell me that we couldn't have put together some type of trade center, community center to teach these guys, okay, hey, this is going to be a rehabilitation platform for you guys. Come in, transition from whatever it is that you paid your debt to society for. You come in, you learn a trade, and then we're going to push you back. We're going to actually provide you jobs. We're going to actually push you into a place where you can work. You mean to tell me the money couldn't have went to that? I got people talking about, hey, Mario, you going to run for politics. Well, goddamn. Are you going to run for politics? Like everybody's word, or you going to run for politics? Here's the thing. This is my concern. Because like I said, I got a group of people that I'm working with or whatever, and we're going to decide who's best for what seat. But the thing about it is I look at things like this, and I wonder, where's the outcry? How come ain't nobody making edited videos on this? How come ain't nobody tagging their favorite content creator in this and say, why we ain't talking about real shit? How long we going to beef? How long we going to disrespect one another? Because you got people like Candace Owens, who I don't always agree with. You got people like the gentleman on the screen, who I don't even know, but I mean, people in the crowd calling him a white guy. But why do they care more about Black Lives Matter and making sure it runs correctly than us, the everyday citizen? Look at what we spend our time doing, what we spend our time talking about. But when it matters, nobody wants to say anything. And videos like this won't go viral. Videos like this won't get the like button hit. But if I'm condemning another Black man, if I'm condemning Black women, if I'm condemning the Black community, oh yeah, this is something that needs to be shared. I ain't finished yet. We got more. We got more. Give me 5 minutes and I'm going to drop this link. I see it's people that got something to say in the chat. And I appreciate you guys being here. But this is burning me up, man, because I'm looking at this situation. It's like, you know, well, I don't like the messenger. I don't like the messenger. But the thing about it is your favorite YouTube never talks about the message. You don't like the messenger, but your favorite YouTuber don't talk about the message. Here we go.
Supposed to buy somebody a mansion.
You're absolutely right. The question is, will this administration, will this left-wing Democratic administration in Washington or this deep blue state in California take any action? I want to look the camera right in the eye and tell everyone in this country, name me one thing Black Lives Matter has done to benefit Black Americans in this country. I'm waiting, and they had $90 million, Steve. So I'm looking forward to an investigation.
Hopefully, $90 million.
Won't happen, but I'm looking for.
Hold on. $90 million. Ladies and gentlemen. $90 million. Somebody got to say this shit, man. Listen, $90 million. Do you know how many lives you can change with $90 million? Do you know the impact you can make to any city in the United States of America with $90 million? Hell, we could have gave teachers more money. We could have opened up Big Brothers and Big Sisters community centers. We could have done more than what we've done. $90 million, and you spent $6 million on a mansion. And nobody's upset. Oh, well, it ain't my business. It is your business. How come every time it's something that's going to benefit Black people on a positive thing, it's always some knucklehead, some dumbass motherfucker talking about, oh, well, I ain't here to talk about that. That ain't what I talk about. That shit kills me. Every time we're in a position to win, we push ourselves back from winning, from scoring. This ain't got nothing to do with white people and Hispanic people and Oriental. This got something to do with us holding a mirror up to our faces and say, what exactly are we doing? We look for every reason to drag the messenger and to devalue or degrade the message. When I drop this link, man, y'all come with y'all heat because I'm ready. And that's for anything and anybody. Y'all come with y'all heat. Because if y'all say anything and try to make some goddamn excuses, oh, well, you know, they had 90 million and I can see why they wanted to buy a $6 million mansion. It was all good, you know what I'm saying? And man, shut the hell up.
Something tangible that Black Lives Matter has done for Black Americans with all that money.
Well, they did buy a mansion. Let's see what happens next. Leo, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Steve.
You bet.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary.
One of the leaders of the Black Lives Matter organization, who calls herself a trained Marxist, is now being called a fraud after property records showed Patrisse Cullors shelled out millions of dollars on 4 luxury homes. One of them in Los Angeles is exclusive 88%.
Where's the conversation about this, ladies and gentlemen? I'm gonna be real with you. I'm about to drop the link right now. Where's the conversation about this? Is it? No. Where's the conversation about this? Why are we acting like we don't know? We do a great job at not knowing what's going on in like real life. We do a great job. You ask somebody who beefing with who, they can break it down, how long they've been beefing, who started it, who said what, who doxed who exposed what, who researched what. But when it comes to things that's going to benefit us in our communities, us in our next generation, we don't know nothing. There's nothing said. Let's play it. Here we go. Link is dropping now.
White Topanga. This is the Associated Press reports Black Lives Matter took in some $90 million in donations last year. Now remember, this is the organization. The movement with people in the streets, they're not getting rained down on by cash. Now other people in the organization want an investigation into the group's finances. And the New York chapter of BLM.org also wants a close look at Cullors' personal finances, saying the self-professed socialists should ask how much of their own money is going to charitable causes. Oh, this is interesting. He types that.
Before they start talking, hold on. I'm about to piss somebody off. Look at the panel. Hey, listen, look at the panel. Look at the panel. What do you think they're about to talk about? I mean, it's obvious what they talk about, but what do you think about what they're about to say? Come on, y'all, don't get quiet on me now. I want you guys to look at the panel and how ironic it is that these people are going to talk about an organization that is spearheaded by Black people, where they've fraudulently did things with money that should have went back to the community. I want you guys to see how ironic this is. Why aren't we having these panels here on social media with people that look like us? Nothing positive for exactly Uncle L. Lovely. I'm laughing because I'm telling you, I'm laughing to keep from being upset. Now, I want you guys to listen to exactly what they say, and I'm not even, in 6 minutes, I'm not even going to stop it. Fair use. I'm going to let it play.
But she's actually very well-trained Marxist. It's because she's a member of the bourgeoisie. She controls the means of production. It's proletariat. The masses that get to enjoy the fruits of Marxism. Like all those local chapters of Black Lives Matter that are having to do GoFundMe pages because they've never seen any of the money from the central machine, which is raised up to $90 million and going. So this doesn't surprise me at all. She got the ability to have access to cash and wealth because through a movement which has metamorphosized ever since. And she's being called out for it. And hopefully there's an investigation. We don't know where she got the money and how she earned it. And maybe she's turned into a capitalist. But those Marxists have a way of enriching themselves when they're at the top.
You know, Kennedy, I make such a point of saying that the movement versus the organization, right? Because we know that the organization's fundraising, they're doing all sorts of things, and we don't have eyes on that money. And as Pete says, maybe it's a good idea, not just because of the house buying, but just in general, since there's so many promises made to the people in the streets. But they're, you know, it's not like they're members. They're in the streets because they want social justice. So what do you think they need to know about this situation?
That the people, you know, and obviously it's important to make that differentiation. I'm glad you did, because there are people for whom the phrase Black Lives Matter resonates, means something to them, and it is a cause worth fighting for. There are other people really, really good at marketing, and it's funny they call themselves socialists because they're really hyper-capitalists. And, you know, again, I love capitalism. And I'll go ahead and give her the benefit of the doubt. I have no idea how much they paid in taxes, if they paid any money in taxes, if they're a 501c3. But let's say she made her money in GameStop and Bitcoin. And if that's the case, and she participated in the thriving aspects of the free market economy that have not been tamped down by the federal government, then good for her. Real estate in LA, always a great investment. So in that respect, I'm very, very proud of her.
I just want to dip my toe in the water real
Just in case you don't know, that was shade. That was shade. Okay.
Just for a moment. I'll put my flip-flop back on in a second. Kaylee, I'm just wondering. You know, you're talking about social justice, particularly for people of color. Why not take those funds that you've earned, maybe, you know, Dogecoin, wherever she got rich, paid her taxes, did whatever, as Kennedy points out. We don't.
Okay, I lied. I said I wasn't gonna stop it. You're talking about social justice. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the issue that we have, right? You talk about social justice for the African-American community with one African-American addressing Caucasian people. Did I miss anybody? Did everybody get what I just said? This is the reason why when we start talking about entertainment here on social media, I start looking at you kind of crazy. You have one woman on here that is an African-American woman talking about social justice for African-American people to white people. Watch the smirks on their face. Things that they've never had to go through, things that they don't really understand, things that they see, well, hey, you know, this is just a person who got caught up, you know, fraudulently using money. Now, we all know that there are a lot of corporations out there that do this, some crazy things. We know, we understand that. But right now we're dealing with this particular entity right here. And I find it ironic that this woman, this black woman, is now addressing these white people. And she's not of, hey, sister girl. Uh-oh. She's not screaming, talking about divestment. Uh-oh. She's not talking about dusties and trash bags. Uh-oh. I'm just saying, if you don't think this is odd, this is a conversation, ladies and gentlemen, that happens all the time. This is a conversation that happens all the time. Why do they do that? Why do they do that? Why do they think that makes sense? This is the reason why we lose in a court of law, ladies and gentlemen. Because YouTube justice is not real life justice. This is why we lose. I'm sure it was somebody on the side of her talking about, girl, don't worry about that. Get that money. Get that house. Girl, do you. Ball, girl, chase that bag, right? And now when you're being charged in the public eye, because that's what's happening right now. Now you're under a microscope. Now people are saying, hey, that don't look right. That don't sound right. How many people you think was liking and sharing and applauding what she was doing, what they were doing? And now when she gets to the litigation part, how many people you think are going to stand beside her? All the people that was cheering for her. Where are my friends? Where are my friends? I'm saying, where are your friends going to be at? Because they're going to throw her under the bus. And it's going to be several people that get thrown under the bus with you. When you go to court and you think that you're riding high on the hog, as they say, and those facts come out, those details come out, it ain't going to be nothing funny. It ain't going to be nothing cute about it.
Don't know. But why not take that back to a neighborhood of color or a neighborhood where, you know, you can be among the people? I don't know. I'm just simply asking the question. You can live wherever you want, but you're preaching something different.
Yeah, one would think a self-proclaimed trained Marxist would do exactly what you just described, but she didn't. But look, to Kennedy's point, if she got these funds through a legitimate way, not through the BLM fundraising mechanism, good for her. Look, she came from public housing. She writes about in her book. She grew up in public housing. Her mom was a mom of 4 and worked 16-hour days, and their only grocery store was the 7-Eleven. She came from very humble beginnings and now has risen to great heights. So good for her, except this. That is the American dream, what we're describing. But she professes an ideology directly at odds with the American dream. Trained Marxists, but trained Marxists often do this. Bernie Sanders, a self-proclaimed Democrat socialist, makes millions and has 3 houses. Elizabeth Warren has a net worth of almost $8 million. So as we find with trained Marxists, socialists, and others, they often don't practice what they preach.
Yeah, you know, I just see it as a missed opportunity, Emily. She should be, or could be, I shouldn't say should be, because it's not about the judgment, but she could be, you know, lifting others up and teaching them how to do exactly what she did. Pulling them out of poverty so that when things happen, they don't have to loot and break things. They actually have a future that they can participate in and lift themselves up, and then challenge the justice system to treat them better.
A future that they can participate in, ladies and gentlemen. A future that they can participate in. How many conversations is about a future that we can participate in, that our loved ones, our family members, our children, the next generation? It's about a future that we can participate in. The link is dropped. Pull up. Let's go. Let's go. Let's have this conversation. I'm curious to hear from the audience. Let's just not hide in the clouds today. Let's have a conversation that matters.
Right. There is nothing wrong with using your hard-earned money to purchase large homes and whatever you want. What is difficult to make is either A, if that money was obtained fraudulently, and or B, if, as you pointed out, you are not in line with what you profess to, what your ideology is. If her whole purpose is amplifying those of color, if her whole purpose is lifting up those communities, then what does this say? And I'd like to make 2 quick points. Number 1, those investigations that are being called for by other Black Lives Matter leaders, if something is uncovered there in the way of fraud or corruption or any type of money mismanagement, I bet that you will hear nothing about it by the mainstream media, or it will be pinned on one scapegoat. And secondly, that for those who really care about that movement and who want to donate money to it, then I suggest they find local, transparent organizations that they know the dollars are actually going toward achieving equality and equity there, because I don't think this organization is it.
Some explosive claims coming from a founder of the Black Lives Matter chapter in St. Paul, Minnesota. In newly released video, Rashad Turner says he, quote, learned the ugly truth, end quote, about the organization.
Antonio, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
What do you think about this situation?
First, let me say, you know, my internet is messed up, so I may go in and out, and I'll just come back in if that happens. All right, this whole situation is, for me, this is how I look at it. I always looked at Black Lives Matter as a business, not really to help anybody. I don't know how anybody else didn't see it like that, because we have children and women Black women, black children die every day, get killed, kidnapped, murdered. Nobody ever talks about it. Black Lives Matter don't come out for it. A couple of summers ago, look how many babies like got killed just in Chicago from even stray bullets or things like that. Like every summer, Black Lives Matter never comes out for that. And I know this is probably going to piss somebody off, but George Floyd is nobody. He ain't my hero. I don't see why crackhead is all of a sudden Black Lives Matter material when we have babies, children, women missing all the time. Nobody cares. Black Lives Matter do not come out for that because it's not lucrative for them. They go by what's making them money. Now, her buying an $8 million home out of the 90 million, she's gonna, I mean, that's the whole point of everything is business. At the end of the day, I don't care what anybody says. It's not about people's feelings. It's not. Nobody cares. Sorry to say it, but nobody cares. So her buying that home, I could see that happening because that's what it was about to begin with. I mean, let's be realistic. Is it right? Yeah. I mean, she did her job. That's what she was hired to do. And she did it. Did she steal from everybody? No, because everybody willingly gave it. Even knowing that, I mean, come on. You know, so let's not try to act surprised now. Try to act like our white counterparts don't do the exact same thing. It's just now, you know, we notice this. We people like us, we always knew Black Lives Matter ain't shit. Like I said, I'm starting to believe they're run by the KKK, like for real. So, yeah, I'm not surprised at it. I mean, she bought a home. That's what you do when you make a lot of money for a business. I mean, for what you faked it. I mean, it's like pyramid schemes, you know. It's like you could see this coming like a mile away. You could see it coming from like 10 years back, 20 years back. This is bullshit, and everybody knows it, but they give the money and then complain. That's why I don't give money to things like that. No, not for George Floyd. No, I'm sorry the man died, but he was going to die one day anyway doing all that drugs, okay? He shouldn't have been the face of anything for us. His face should not be like painted on walls. The babies that died, their faces should be painted on walls. The children that, you know, are just massacred every year, women that are taken and, you know, we know what happened to them, found in dumpsters every day, Black women and children. No, but where's Black Lives Matter? Because they don't care. Because then, you know what? If they actually do stories on things like that, people are going to watch them closer. They're going to be watched closer because people want to see the follow-up to it. People want to see, well, what happened with this? They're going to ask questions. People ask questions. With a George Floyd, nobody asked questions. Why? Because just like I said earlier, oh, he's a drug addict. A lot of people are thinking in that way. Oh, the cop, he got put in jail, so it's over. No, if somebody kills a child or something, it's never over. It's never over. You got to keep fighting because it's still going to keep happening. Black Lives Matter don't want to fight every day. They just want to fight maybe every couple of years, and not really fight, just march and cause a lot of destruction in our own neighborhoods, let's say, urban neighborhoods. That's the only thing that get destroyed.
I'm going to give you a response to what you just said, but we have somebody, Dazzle. Welcome to the show. What do you have to say?
Hello, how you doing, Tough Love? Thank you for having me on the show.
About the topic or what Miss Antonia said.
Okay, well, the topic to me, honestly speaking, well, in my personal opinion, my experience when Black Lives Matter first happened, I was not really sure of it because I lived at that time in a neighborhood where they fought every night and they had shootouts every night. So it's like, y'all want me to protest, but in order for me to leave at a certain time to protest with you guys, I have to duck and dodge bullets to get there. So to me, I feel like there was something wrong with that. And at one point, people used to get mad at me because I would say, well, what about the violence in our own neighborhoods? Well, don't worry about that right now. And that's not what we're worried about. We're worried about police brutality. I'm like, okay, but Black Lives Matter, don't it? So let's not worry about our brothers and sisters' lives in our neighborhood right now, because right now that's not the Black lives we're talking about. We're talking about the Black lives that was killed from the police officers. Like, I don't understand. Like, didn't that confused the mess out of me? And it was that. And then it was like little things like if you go, like I would go like on Craigslist looking for gigs. And then, around that time I seen a lot of gigs where you can be a paid protester. So I was like, oh, so I'm like, that's funny. That's weird that like, oh, you have all these gigs up now for paid protesting. Okay. And then I had an issue with, it was a few things and I kept saying stuff about it and everybody, oh, they called me a Karen. They called me this, they called me that. Like, I feel like there's a thing going on. Like, even when it comes down to like, when you approach somebody or like the police approach you, you automatically pull out your phone. And I kind of feel like, okay, that can be a defense mechanism, but that's like a tactic. And I kind of felt like when Candace Owens approached Patrisse Cullors' door and they pulled out a phone, it was a way to make it seem like she was doing something and like, oh, you're provoking me, you're harassing me. And then I don't really trust anybody who could cry on cue. Okay? Because like, if you can cry on cue, you are a dangerous person because you will make people believe whatever you're selling, even if it's a lie.
No doubt.
That's how I kind of feel.
Let me ask you something, because I'm about to give Miss Antonio this smoke. But before I
Really,
give her this
Mario?
smoke,
Okay.
I want to ask.
Okay, give me
I
the
wanna
smoke.
ask you something. How do you feel about the George Floyd thing? Like, just the overall concept. Do you feel like George Floyd should have been made to be a martyr?
To be honest, how I feel about George Floyd, I feel like those police officers, they should have been held accountable. I do feel like, because to me, the idea was good, but the people conducting the movement was corrupt. So it's like I understood where we needed to have like some type of police reform. I understood that, but the thing I didn't understand was like after the fact. Like, I don't know. It's like it was something. Well, what can it's just that after the fact. I didn't really trust it. I don't really believe that he needed like a statue up either. He had a statue, didn't he?
I want to say they did do a monument to him.
I don't know.
I haven't been down there to see it. I think they did do it.
But I do believe that he should have got justice. And, as long as he got justice for that, I felt like that was a good thing. But again, we should have kept going. It's not just it's not something that you do once every couple of years. So that's how I kind of feel about that.
Okay. I appreciate that. You don't have to drop down anything, but I'm gonna say this, and I'm Ron Dirty. Welcome to the show, big brother. Then I'm gonna say this. So here's my thing about George Floyd. I think that for some reason, it wasn't the fact that it was George Floyd the man. It was George Floyd the person for me. And I felt like that person could have been any person, and the way that he died was despicable, and it was disgraceful. It was done in front of America. Now, whether we want to promote this as police brutality, we want to promote this was racism, we want to promote this as just bad judgment on police officers, we can put whatever title or narrative we want. I just felt that it was unfortunate, and it was more unfortunate that we wanted to say, well, this guy was a criminal, so whatever happened to him happened to him. This guy was a crackhead, so whatever happened to him happened to him. Once we start making those excuses, or we start using that line of reasoning, that means someone can say, well, you didn't have perfect credit, so you deserve that. You just got a divorce, so you deserve that. You dropped out of college, so you deserve that. Once we start making excuses for murders and bad or conduct or misconduct, then we start giving people an out. I don't think that these guys should have got an out. And I felt like using his criminal record or his past or whatever wasn't out for people to say, well, this was okay. And I noticed in a lot of deaths of Black people, the criminal aspect or the bad behavior was something that was being promoted. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't see that with a lot of Caucasian counterparts. When they die, it's not like, well, let me run down their whole life story. It was either wrong or right. And I just feel like when a Black person dies, it shouldn't be about, well, let me go over your life history. You let the people that's inside the community.
It seems like we look when it comes to Black people, we have to have this like microscope, and we have to look at every single thing about them just to see if somebody wronged them or not, if they were a victim or not. I don't believe in doing that. But I do want to add, and this is like off topic, but the same topic, I do want to add that I do find it funny that now after, all the riots and us, burning down our own neighborhoods, they decided to gentrify it. So I kind of find it funny that that's happening. So basically, we just help with the process of pushing us out of our own neighborhoods. So
Good point. I like that you said that. That was a good point. They rioted, got people scared, got businesses burned down, and then moved them out so that way they can bring what they wanted to bring in. That was a good point. I like that. Before you continue, though, I want to get Riding Dirty in here, fellow veteran.
But thank you so much. I gotta not jump down because I gotta go to work. But thank you so much. All right.
I appreciate you. Thank you very much. Riding Dirty, what's up, brother?
Hey, good afternoon. Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you very well, man. What you think about all of this, man?
Oh man, there's so much craziness going on.
Definitely.
You're gonna have to ask me something specifically, man, because I ain't gonna lie, man. My thoughts be all over the place about this.
I got you. What do you think about the Black Lives Matter movement in general? Let's start there.
I thought they was fraud from the beginning because they, my stepdad always used to say, "Son, there's nothing new under the sun." And so I say that to say when BLM came up on the scene, they weren't doing anything new, so to speak. There's a blueprint that's already been laid, and the Black Panthers laid that blueprint about, with the meal plans and the personal protections and all of that stuff. So the foundation has already been laid. So if BLM was really serious about it, they could have took all of that money and just followed the blueprint. In all the communities and every, down-ridden neighborhood, around the country. And so you just instantly, I saw, man, they trying to, that ain't even worth the time. And so from that point on, I would say, Black life matters, but as far as Black lives matter, I had to be careful to differentiate between the two because Black Lives Matter is an organization. Black Life Matter is individual. It's right. One life at a time.
Good point.
And I think, and real quick, I think that might be where we often get caught up, is because we kind of got a herd mentality, so to speak, that when it's somebody gonna come save us, and it's, we just have a hard time separating ourselves from the herd. And to realize that, maybe the best way to improve the herd is to improve myself. And then I help the next person that I touch improve themselves. And then it's exponential down, results after that. But I think, we have to stop waiting on an organization to come in and speak for all of us, and represent all of us. And we have to develop the critical thinking to not think with emotion. And I think that that's where oftentimes our people get led wrong because we don't think logically. We act on emotions. Because we are.
You're so right, Riding Dirty.
We are so good at the entertainment arts and things that require you to be able to express emotions that we don't exercise our logic, that old, cause and effect. It is as simple as that. If this happens, this is the result. And for some reason, we've lost that. and that ability to simply think for ourselves. I figured out a way for me to do it for myself. And like I say, I'm just trying to help people find it out for themselves. But don't, be careful to subscribe to an organization that claims to speak for everybody. Not when they ain't spoke to me.
I got you. That's a
I'm
good
gonna
point.
stop right there.
Antonio, what do you think about that?
And
What do you think about what Ron Dirty just said? Yeah.
Riding Dirty and me, we
about
always seem to agree on the majority of things. To be honest, we do. He just sometimes breaks it down better than I do. I can or I do. But Mario, I want to say to you that I know you was talking about me earlier when you said when you said about the lives mattering. It's not that I'm saying that his life didn't matter. I mean, every life matters, but we all got to die one day. I'm not saying that his life didn't matter. It does, and it's wrong the way he died, but maybe, I'm just saying, right? Maybe if he didn't have so much drugs in his system too, he could breathe better. He'll be healthier. That's just me in my head looking at things because I analyze everything. Everybody else doesn't have to think about that.
Can I help you out real quick, Antonio?
Yeah, say it. Go ahead.
I think what Antonio is trying to say is they could have picked, and I hate to say it like that,
anybody
they
else,
could have picked
a
better. Yeah, there was Tamir Rice, there was Philando Castile. There was the dude that got shot. I think his name was John Crawford that got shot in Dayton, walking in Walmart. There was people who had less. Who
For
had less
me,
stuff in their background.
Riding Dirty, for me, what it is, it's always about the children. So when you have a child, right? When we're adults already, we could do. None of us are innocent. We're adults. We could do any random wrong every day. We do it. But when you have an innocent child, I feel like that's just cut short. They didn't even have time to sin, think of a sin, know what a sin is. So that should be the most important fight right there. That should really be it. Then guess what? Nobody would have a disagreement on whether that life matters or not. But like I said, Black Lives Matters is not about that. So I get that it's not about that. So for me, I knew what it was anyway. So why act like it wasn't that? You understand what I'm saying? Like I use logic from the beginning. Like I knew what they were doing. It's business. So everything is business. And the sooner everybody realizes that, they'll stop giving to somebody that speaks for all of us, like you said, and start reaching out and helping one another, the next person next to us, teaching, giving, say, you know what, I got this. Let me share this. I got 5 guys. Let me give you 2. Then that person could give somebody else 1. Then he can give another. You know what I'm saying? So that way you're actually really helping. You're not just saying, okay, give to this one place and they help themselves. We all, like Ryan Dirty said, we need to go to the next that's, and say, here, brother, here, sister, here, split what you got. Split what you have. Like that makes more sense to me than just me going and saying to one person that I know is bullshitting, like, I know this, and I'm gonna just be like, here. No, why? Unless as a big company, I'm giving because I'm going to get that as a tax write-off, and I'm donating because in some way it's coming back to me. That's a business move. That's a business. They don't care. They don't care. They don't see faces. They just see dollar signs.
Yes, ma'am. I couldn't have said it any better. Now, as far as Candace Owens, if I may. Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, Candace Owens?
Here.
She makes my butt itch. She really does. I just feel like Candace Owens has never spoken to me. She has spoken about me and at me.
Right. Right.
You know, I have a hard time believing in black people who get in front of other people and refer to black people as black people instead of we. Does that make sense to anybody?
I missed the last. It referred to black people as you went out.
Right, like I say, anytime, like if I was talk about black people, I say we, we,
Right.
acknowledging that I am black, not black people. You know what I'm saying? You know what the problem with black
Yeah.
people is,
Well, she
and the
doesn't think
problem
she's
with
black.
black
though.
people, right? But I'm just saying, you know, so that's what turned me off about her personality. But as far
Yes.
as her message, she makes some sense, and she doesn't make sense in other places.
Yeah.
To me, she's
I
Tommy
agree with
Lauren
you.
2.0. She's Tommy Lauren 2.0 to me.
Riding dirty. Antonio, let me play this real quick by Somebody's Gotta Say This Shit. He just sent me the
Okay.
link and I wanted to play it. Okay, here we go.
Oh, you good, brother?
Selective outrage is when individuals agree confront a particular aspect of an issue while consciously ignoring or refusing to address other aspects of that same issue. The Black Lives Matter movement can police brutality and black deaths committed by police while consciously refusing to address black-on-black violence. When individuals practice the diversionary tactic of selective outrage, you can usually find an underlying covert agenda. I mean, let's look at the shit logically. How can you say Black Lives Matter, but never address the black abortion rate here in America? Or the fact that the percentage of black-on-black death is at 94%. You know there are so-called black women out here screaming Black Lives Matter and have had multiple abortions. There are so-called black men out there who perpetrate death and violence against other so-called men, and they are screaming Black Lives Matter. How does that make sense? It makes sense in the minds of completely irrational thinkers. I call them stupid motherfuckers. But that goes back to my point about selective outrage. We're the side of cognitive dissonance. You can't say that Black Lives Matter without addressing every issue that is opposed to the importance of black lives. When you make the choice to go outside of the scripted agenda of Black Lives Matter and address issues that directly reflect how we treat each other. Oh, that nigga Coonan! Sambo ass nigga. Shoe shine, shoe shine. Now do you see why no one takes you seriously?
Straight facts, no chaser.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Somebody Gotta Say This Shit. Feel free to go to a channel and subscribe. Hey, I thought that was very straight. What he just said, straight no chaser. So that's dope. That was dope. That was dope. I appreciate you. I had to figure out. Hey, Riding Dirt, I wasn't ignoring you. I was trying to figure out how to get it in the playlist. So yeah.
Oh, you good, brother? Hey, this your show, man. I'm gonna let
But
you
I'm not
cook
gonna-
this
I'm not
stuff.
gonna
I'm
be
gonna sit
here.
back and watch your feathers fly.
I'm not gonna be here too much longer. Let me get your closing statements, and then I'm gonna give my closing statements. And then Antonio, I just wanted to say this real quick to you, whatever. My statements or remarks was pretty much based off the energy that I got from Candace Owens the first time I heard her speak about George Floyd, and I really feel like what Riding Dirty said in reference to the Tommy Lauren situation. I think they do correlate. I think they kind of rock on the same wavelength. But I really felt like as a black man, if something was to happen to me, you would be more concerned about not you, but in general, people would be more concerned about my past and what presently happened to me. And I think that's what rattled me, because I don't know too many people with a perfect past. And it just seemed to me, the way it was being promoted publicly, that when black people die, at least at that particular point, when black people die, we have to put them under a microscope and talk about their past, but we are not concerned about the present. And I think that's what really rattled me to see that. So I spoke out about that. But I understand where you're coming from. You're right. It is about the kids. So I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to have your closing statements, and then I'm going to take it from there. I'm going to let Antonio go first, and then I'm going to let Riding Dirty do his thing.
I'm gonna keep it quick. Everybody's fake. Really, everybody just needs to really open their eyes and see. You know, I always say this, and maybe one day it'll click in people's head. This is planet Earth. There is nowhere else. It's the same thing ever, just re-looping. But the one thing I can honestly say, every day we have two things when we wake up: choice and chance. and our choice will lead us to our destination. So choose wisely. Have a great day, everybody. I'm about to go enjoy the day.
No doubt. I appreciate you hopping on here. Have a great day. It's on you, Rodney. What you want to do, man?
Oh man, first off, I want to say thank you again, brother. I always appreciate conversing with you in the panel. Antonio, it's been a minute since I heard your voice. It's good to hear it again. I just wanted to say to you and to the people, hey, continue to hunt the good stuff. Find certain things that happen out through your day that was good. Figure out what control you had in bringing that good thing to fruition. And if it involved somebody else that was a part of it, let them know that, hey, you did X, and as a result of that, it helped me do X, Y, Z. When you show gratitude to people when they go out of their way to help you, or even it don't even have to be out of their way, but it manifests. Me and my family, we say thank you for everything. Hey, knucklehead, bring me the remote. Thank you, son. Hey, you do this. Thank you, son. You know, it's just something we do. And I'm like that out in public. So hunt the good stuff, look for the gratitude, and show that gratitude toward others. Y'all have a blessed day.
No doubt, brother. I appreciate you. Car. I totally agree with you, man. I totally agree that since the George Floyd incident, we've definitely have situations that has shown that, you know, everyone goes up under a microscope at every now and then. However, I felt at that particular moment, I felt like the things that was being promoted, especially mainstream, about a person's past was irrelevant. It was about the actions of an officer or officers that took advantage of a situation. So I hope that as I understand you, you understand me. Let me get into this monologue real quick. Black lives don't matter. Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to play, I had 2 more videos that I wanted to play, and those videos kind of outlined the entertainment section. Oh, you good, Ron. Dirty always. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. So I want to the outline of entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, the things that we find to be entertaining, whether here on social media or through our music or how we speak to one another, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's far from funny. It's far from excitement. It's far from anything that should be ordained to be something of merit, substance of value. However, you know, we do these things wholeheartedly on a daily basis. The Black Lives Matter or Black Lives Don't Matter is prevalent only because we don't showcase that Black lives do matter. I mean, it's just that simple. We don't showcase it through our music. We don't showcase it through our everyday practices. We don't act as if we care. So the problem is that when you have other people who are not Black, who don't speak Black, who don't live in Black neighborhoods, when they speak on these issues, we automatically ignore them. We automatically turn the other cheek. We automatically say that, well, what they say don't matter. However, the issue is the people that we like, the people that we trust, the people that we've ordained to leadership positions for whatever reasons, they don't deem it important. Because us as average people, they think that we don't want to hear what's really going on, and we want them to promote whatever heinous acts that's happening. And I'm gonna be honest with you, as a person who considers himself to be a regular person, I feel like there are important conversations that need to be had, which is why I deem it necessary to have the conversations. And I realize that everyone is different and everyone's not going to move accordingly or the same. But we can't knock someone because they're a Republican or a Democrat or liberal or whatever if they're saying the things that need to be said. And I'm gonna be honest with you, if you tell me Black lives don't matter and I look around to channel over here and I see how they're treating other Black men, I look around to this channel over here and I see how they're treating black women, and talk about in reality and what happens in real life. And I see that there's no love. There's no, people don't even speak to each other. People are not even concerned about, you know what I'm saying, child abuse. They're not concerned about a lot of shit. All in the manner of entertainment, all for the acts of entertainment. The things that we should rally against, the things that we should cancel, have zero respect for. We have respect for those things. So no, when Candace Owens speaks on Black Lives Matter, I don't turn her off. I don't shun her. I don't tell her be quiet, because why is she more courageous enough to speak on an issue that we all should be worried about? We all should have the conversation about. So I challenge those content creators, those that are affiliated with Tough Love, those that come across Tough Love. I challenge you all to say, you know, why Black lives don't matter? Why is promoting hatred for one another, why does that matter more than Black Lives Matter? Why is entertainment by any means necessary, no matter how vile or disrespectful or degrading it is, why does that matter more than the real conversation promoting solutions? We can't help anything if we don't care to help. If we turn a blind eye, if we have, as somebody got to say this shit, selective outrage, selective accountability. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mario J. This is Tough Love. Until next time, stay alive. Peace.